So today I want to talk about the negative portrayal of men in TV shows and movies. So there's kind of three main tropes I want to go through about how men are represented in shows or movies, and then take a look at are they just harmless fun, or are they causing actual damage around the perception of men? And then to top it off at the end, I think it's fair to look at a couple of shows or movies that have really good examples of positive male role models. So let's jump in. So the first trope that we're all well aware of is the lovable idiot. So if you look at shows like The Simpsons, Homer Simpson, Family Guy, Peter Griffin, guys in sitcoms generally are portrayed as these morons. They go to work, they don't do anything else, they don't have any time for the family, they're stupid, the wife has to hold everything together, and that's kind of perpetuated across loads of different sitcoms. And while it's funny in the sitcom, the characters are funny, it does just create this image throughout the world that that's what men are. They're not interested in their family, they're stupid, women do everything, they're completely clueless, and it's just this kind of myth that's put out there. The second trope that I like to look at is the emotional stunted man. So if you look at shows like Friends, for example, Ross Geller, in that his character is completely emotional stunted. He can't talk about his emotions properly, can't get them across. And again, it's funny because he's acting like this. But whenever a man in a show is emotionally stunted and can't get their emotions out or talk about things, it's always portrayed that that's a negative trait, talking about your emotions, communicating properly. So again, it's perpetuating this myth that, shut up, man up, just keep everything to yourself, bottle it up, don't talk about emotions, that's not manly. So that's type 2. Then type 3 is obviously the perpetrator or violent aggressor, and that's, so many shows out there or movies out there. You look at Scarface, like Tony Montana type character. It's about being violent, it's about solving all your violence, problems with violence or aggression. Again, there's very, very few things we're showing that there's plenty of men in the world who can solve issues without violence, without aggression. Men aren't all psychopaths, murderers, etc. But if you look at those three, lovable idiot, emotionally stunted man, and, violent aggressor or perpetrator, that's the majority of portrayal of men in TV shows and movies. And it's not just that it's portraying men in that bad way, it's also providing negative male role models for boys or younger men watching the shows, that there's very few people that they can look up to and think, that's a good example of masculinity. So on the back of that, what I'd like to do is actually point out 2 examples that are doing that well or have done that well in the past. So the first one is Ted Lasso, which is obviously showing that, a man can be in touch with their emotions, can be supportive to other men, can talk about difficult subjects, can be a nice, decent guy, and it's a positive male role model. It's not portrayed as a negative thing or stupid or unmanly. And then probably the best example I can think of from movies and things that I like is Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Really portrayed as a very positive role model, helps his friends, talks about things, supports everyone. He's brave, he's strong, he fights well. So everything about him is positive. There's no negativity around his character. He treats women well, he treats men well. It's all there from a positive point of view. And if more shows and more movies out there portrayed men like this, it would be a lot better to have guys having someone to look up to, but also not putting this idea out there in the mainstream that men are either morons, emotionally stunted, or violent. So yeah, if you've got any examples of TV shows that you think are doing it negatively, or TV shows that you think are doing it positively, or movies, please drop them in the comments. It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts.